small group at first if you don't want to. You don't got to join a group at first. Just pick up a Bible or a book, whatever the good book is for you, and read it. Because now you're investing time. And we have, as human beings, typical investment bias, right? I can't quit this job. I've been here too long, right? I can't try something new. I've got too many years into this. I've played football for 13 years. I can't just stop this, right? We have this investment bias because we put time in. So if you want to develop that, just set us, even if it's just 10, 15 minutes, open a book up and read, like do that. Or step into a church on a Sunday. Like that's all it is. Like you find a church that fits you. That's one thing too, is take time to try them out. You don't have to walk into the first one and say, this is my one, and deal with it. Like you got to sometimes find the one that embraces you, feel right. Like it feels good, because like anything else, if you hate the kind of workout you're doing, you're not going to keep working out. You're not going to get the result. Sure. Right. If you hate running, don't buy running shoes. Like there's no reason, don't invest in that. Right? So
no, it's good.
Yeah. In that aspect, find something you like, some place you like, and go.
Love it. Love it. So you said you have a quote here on your, I believe it's on your website. The last person you want to meet on your deathbed is the person you could have been.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Thank you.
Explain. I mean, I know what it means, but could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. So I mean, the statement is the last person I ever want to meet my deathbed is the person I could have been. Yep. I actually did a podcast for the Spartan race. Joe DeCina, the creator of Spartan, me and him met up in San Francisco and did a whole little thing. And that was one of the things that he had brought up. And I was like, you know what? I think at the end of the day, we're supposed to do a lot on this planet. And we know it. Like you have this inkling. You know you're supposed to do more. And I think the people who are supposed to, they know it's an itch you can't scratch. It floats in your head. And what happens is we choose to go two paths. One path is the one of least resistance. It's the one that says, I'm supposed to do this. It'd be cool to do that. But you know what? I'm just going to do this because it's easier. I'll navigate this, get this done. And then if you ask any people that are older, like people who are like on their deathbed, you ask those people, the majority of them will tell you they wish they would have taken more risk, more adventure. They wish they would have tried more things. And so I'm like, dude, like I never want to be there. So that person that when I'm on my deathbed, I never want to meet the person that, if I had somebody that looked like me that walked in the door and they have all this cool stuff, whether it's they've taken these cool trips, have some cool stories, have an amazing family, have a great relationship. Like I never want to meet that person when I'm dead, knowing I could have been that person. And so the only way to make sure I never meet that person like that is to be that person now. And it doesn't mean you have to have everything right now. I think that's what we deem in our world of success is, if I don't have this, I'm not successful. If I don't have this right now, I can't do this. I can't be this person. But the truth is, you don't have to have it now. You just have a desire to do it. Have a desire to take some actions towards that, because it's a slow moving ball. Like that thing is creeping along the roads literally minute by minute in our lives. And so if you can just make a decision, like I did at 15 years old, and put in that slow, arduous work, I'm now 17, 18, 19-ish years past that. When you get to that point, like I'm looking back and I'm like, dude, if I had stopped back then, if I didn't make that choice, like what am I doing now? I'm nothing close to this. And it seems like it happened super quick, but in the moments they're slow. So if you want to make sure that when you pass away at some point, because it will happen, it's kind of morbid, but it'll happen. It'll be a beautiful day, I think, for those when they have the right things in place. But when you do, make sure that you've done everything to where you close your eyes and you're at peace, knowing that you've climbed the top of the mountain you were meant to climb.
Love it. Well, so, what was it? It kind of reminds me of what Steve Bezos said when he was up and coming and bringing Amazon up from the ground. He said something like regret minimization formula, or something like that. That's what drives him. He had it on his board in his office, and basically, to your point, you don't want to be older in nursing home care or wherever, sitting on your rocker saying, crap, I should have taken more risk. I should have done more, should have helped people, et cetera. So,
yeah, most people just don't know how to do it. I think that is the common thought is that's the weird part is I think people get that. Those who listen now, they know that. But the next thing is like, yeah, but how do I do that? That's the question. How do I do that? And that literally is like invest in yourself, invest in a coach, invest in a book. Like I have programs built specifically for that. That's what I do for people. Like I can't just drop it and say, here's a good business, boom, rock and run, right? Right. You got to start at the beginning. And for me, it started at 15, figuring that stuff out when I was forcing it at 3. But for a lot of people, somebody has to start at 40, 50, they start later on, but start the process.
Sure. No, dude, love it, man. So we're going to wrap up here. I know you have church. What do you want to leave any final words here? Like what's what's one thing that you would recommend for people who just want to have more of a presence online? They want to provide value like yourself, just content, but they're kind of camera shy, or they just don't know how to start, or I've got 29 YouTube subscribers right now, and I know that I want to provide value, and obviously down the road monetize it, but that's not the core that drives me. The core that drives me is people knowing that somebody in a different state or a different part of the world could email me one day and say, "Hey, your video helped inspire me. Thanks." That's what this. So if you could.
You gotta you gotta be the weirdo and make shameless plugs to push yourself.
Right.
What I mean by that is, like, if you think of the people who are successful, they seem a little bit off. Like, they're like a little bit weird. Everybody you think of as successful, like a little bit. And it's not that they're weird. They're just outside the norm. Like, they're not your typical regular everyday person you run into at the grocery store. And so I started realizing, like, I got to be more like the weirdos, and I got to operate at a level where I'm just shamelessly pushing things. Right. And if you have a base, like you just said, of drive for why you're doing it, there's nothing shameless about it. Like, you kind of have to get everybody else out of their own way to get better. So if you're trying to grind and grow anything in the online space, you've got to push, and you've got to do it to a level where people are like this dude, he's just crazy. Now, here's what I found is, if you run into some people, and there's like great salesmen, for example, I don't know how they do it, but they are so passionate about what it is they do that you believe anything they say. And I think that we don't realize, like, that they're able to succeed and live their life because they do that. They just exude this belief whenever it is, to the extent of, like, this crazy person believe. Like, think about a guy like Hitler. Like, it sounds odd, but like, he had such a vicious belief in this thing that he got a whole country to go along. Now, you can learn something from that, sadly. But what it is, it's like, if you believe in it enough and you exude it, people naturally, like, just from a psychological standpoint, they're like, dude, if he believes that, should I? And that's your in. And then shamelessly put your stuff in there. Like, unpack your bags and stay for a while in their head. Like, that's how you do it. So you have to find that thing you anchor on, and then shamelessly get it in there and roll. But it comes from you having this dead-on belief where people look at you like, this dude is crazy, but he's so confident. Should I check this out? Like, it just becomes this thought. And that's how the online space works, especially with things being so cluttered, so loud, so much information going on. There's a lot out there. You have to stand out in some way. And then another thing, if it's the online world, of all things, above all things, know exactly who you're talking to. Gotcha. If you are anywhere broad nowadays, you are going to have a lot of problems. So it could be like someone going like, I'm going to teach someone how to do online marketing. That it doesn't help. Nowadays, that's horrible. It's like, I want to teach a person to do online marketing for 25 years old, and they know how to grow cucumbers in their backyard, and they wear, zapatos. Like, it sounds odd, but like, you got to come in tight. And if you can come in super tight and grow your expansion in that market, the rest of the people, whoever they are, will see kind of what it is you do. And then your system that's working, people can question, can it work for me? The process you're using can be duplicated in other areas, but just hone in on one area. You're not cutting people out. You're not serving them. I'm going to leave you guys with this kind of metaphor for this aspect. It's, imagine you're walking down a busy corner in I don't know, New York, on the corner there in a financial district, right? And there's a guy on a soapbox with a megaphone yelling at people. As we're walking by, we tune him out. He's yelling at everybody. He ain't talking to me. I tune him out. Right. But if you walk by the same corner and you see two people like us intently having this deep conversation, one person just talking, we'll eavesdrop. Mm-hmm. Naturally, we'll be like, what's this guy? What's he talking about? And we tune in. So when you have your market that you are intimately talking to and sharing and coaching and talking, the rest of the world still sees your posts, right? They still see what's going on. But they'll start questioning, like, dude, like, that's good information. I wonder if can I apply it to my life? And then people start seeing, you might get questions, and you get emails, you get answers. Yeah, I do. And then you start finding this whole new market of people that are like, man, they actually could get the same stuff I'm doing and apply it here. Let me try this and branch it out. And then you branch and grow. But everybody wants to cover everybody. So when you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody.
Interesting. Thanks for that. That's solid advice. I'm gonna wrap it up, and then I'm gonna just take 30 seconds after I stop the recording to talk to you real quick. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you guys for listening to the first podcast of you inspired me to name it this, so I'm gonna have to name my podcast Prove Your Passion podcast. I'm gonna probably throw them out every Sundays just to inspire you to get into the week. And Anthony Trucks has inspired me to. I mean, my last name's Prove, so it kind of, it's not that creative, I guess.
It's all good.
Anthony is proving his passion, and I'm going to drop links. I'm going to, you guys, for those of you who are listening right now, probably just my family and friends. So just text me if you want to know how you can find out more about Anthony. YouTube, thank you guys for watching. Anthony has literally revamped my channel. First, it was reviews on Tai Lopez's social media marketing agency, which were okay. I provided some value and people found some value out of it. And the second thing is I jumped into, for my job, financial services, I had to pass this life accident and health test, which I am a little embarrassed to say it took me 7 tries to pass. So I did review videos on YouTube. They got like 14 views. It was the most views. But anyways, my YouTube channel is officially revamped thanks to Anthony Trucks.
Awesome.
And, thank you guys, and we'll see you on the next video.